This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2016. To my immediate right is Alessandra Gasparini, who's Executive Vice President and also Chief Commercial Officer for ImmerVision. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you.
Now, we're not just surrounded by your product lines, we're also surrounded by your partner product lines as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what ImmerVision does?
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're surrounded by partners which are using the component of our technology to enable functionalities, either capturing 360-degree content or viewing 360-degree content. ImmerVision specializes in the development of super wide-angle lenses, very performant, something which is beyond the traditional fisheye lens that people have been using for the past 80 years. And also we have some algorithm component which comes into the hardware itself to produce good capture content, facilitating that transmission and facilitate also the reading for the players. So here with us we have C360, which is specializes in super high resolution broadcasting, professional broadcasting with their 6K 360-degree camera. We also have SpherePlay, which is a developer of an app that allows to view 360-degree content in a very natural way, in different ways actually, from the immersive type of experience up to simply the navigation through a tablet, and they're able to play easily the content from C360 or from any type of 360-degree sports cam. And also we have Vantrix, which is a company that specializes in streaming. So they're able to take any type of content, super high resolution, and scale it down to different type of resolution depending on the broadband availability. And I think I'm not forgetting anybody on the team. Actually, there's Ionode also, which developed a professional wearable for police force that is Wi-Fi and LTE that allows to capture 360-degree content in front of the policeman.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, let's talk about, this technology, it actually works in stages. There's the capture, there's the distribution. Let's talk about the capture on the professional side. So yes. C360, 6K camera rig, 360-degree. What can you tell us about it?
Well, we developed the lens for C360 to match a 6K camera. So this 6K camera, when it's used on NFL, NBA games, NASCAR races, it captures a very high resolution content of the whole environment, that it's either in front of it, on top, or depending on how you position the camera. And they're able to actually, the producer of the event can actually use it in their mix with other traditional cameras to create a good TV experience for the audience. At the same time, they can stream a second, a second stream out of there for the secondary screens. That it can be a tablet, a smartphone, or a head-mounted display. So the end user that it's not necessarily doesn't want to watch it through the TV, or it's not there to watch the event live, they can actually watch it from their home live on a second screen, or again in a kind of immersive way through those traditional VR hand-mounted displays.
Now, something that struck me about their camera rig is that usually when you have a 360 camera rig, it's like a sphere with a series of cameras. Yes. And in this case, it was a single camera. What about stitching? Do these camera rigs require stitching?
Exactly the reason why C360 right now has developed this type of camera is because it doesn't require the stitching. So you're achieving that high resolution without any stitching, which allows to have true live 30 frames per second broadcasting. And that is the norm for the broadcasting industry. The challenge so often with the stitching is that you need some post-production before being able to broadcast the content, and so make it difficult to be live. Now we're looking here at the sports companies wanting to have that live broadcast in second screen, maximum 10 seconds delay, so they can sell the best seat in house to millions of people to watch the game, and not to necessarily watch it afterward, also live.
Very good. Now, the content I'm seeing is in traditional 2D. Am I correct that there's potential for stereoscopic 3D from this as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think that the limitation, it's not necessarily in terms of the technology. The technology is there to support it. The limitation, I think, it's more on the company wanting to develop such type of products and being able to put all these components together to achieve that. So we're certainly there working with some companies which are exploring these types of captures, and we will be there to support it with the technology.
Okay, very good. Now, okay, so we've got the capture, and actually we'll talk about more of the capture with some other stuff that you've been doing. But then when it comes to playback, there's all kinds of devices on the market. I mean, there's Cardboard, there's Google, there's Immersion Veralia, there's all kinds of different peripherals. You know, and I think that, you know, one of the challenges is that how do the peripherals understand the content so it looks good on their devices? Do you have any solutions for that?
Well, actually, that's one of the things that we've been working for the past 10 years is finding a way that we can provide some information about the content being captured and be able to, in a native way, no matter which type of file format, be able to feed that to the different types of displays. Being a tablet or a phone, but also the players. You have different types of players. You have players which can play back content which is published, accessible, but also at the same time you may have some players like a Skype which plays live video 360 degree of a video conference, for example, but it needs to understand what is the lens, what is the distortion curve, what is the positioning of the camera, and all other type of data that is crucial for the experience. So that is done through some special markings that appear on the image that are coming from all the type of sensors around the device. So if you have a smartphone, for example, like this one here, which has
hold it up so they can see.
There you are. So you have one of the smallest 360-degree lens on the market. Well, you have the gyroscope, you have the compass, you have the accelerometer, and you have also the GPS. So this, what it will do is, even if I move like this, I'll always be able to know exactly how the camera was pointing. So the end user, when he's going to watch and he's going to watch it in a certain angle, it will not be dizzied by the movement of the camera because that will be stable. The player will be able to compensate thanks to that data that it's recorded on the image.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking about a special camera for the police force.
Yeah.
That they, you know, I can imagine a policeman if he's chasing a suspect or even stopping or talking to someone.
I mean, like here, for example, like here. Well, I'm talking to you, but then I'm turning around to talk to the other person just beside. You're still in the field of view, but the viewer or in the command center, if the commander is watching you because you're the suspect one, but even if he turns around, he will keep seeing you, because the marking will have actually followed the data of the movement of the phone, and then it will be able to compensate it through the viewing. So this is some of the technology that comes to enhance the experience from the capture to be able to transmit it and allow different devices and players to provide a great experience.
Very good, very good. Actually, you should hold the device up. I think you've got it right there for the policeman officer, the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check that out.
So yeah, this is like of course it's very robust. It's not the one thing that you see like a toy one. This is like ruggedized, so you can pretty much throw it to somebody. Probably also use it as a weapon for defending yourself. And the idea is really works Wi-Fi and LTE. So Ventrix, which is also one of our another partner, which is specialized in streaming and is one of the first company in the world which specializes in 360-degree immersive streaming, which has developed some features to facilitate again and improve the quality of those transmission, while receives, records, and can also transmit live or playback the content coming from thousands of different these devices across the city.
Okay, very good. You know, one of the challenges with 360 content, I mean, I mentioned earlier about camera rigs with several cameras on a sphere. We saw the 6K camera by C360, which is still a modest size, but still it's relatively, industry geared. For consumers, I want to create 360 content. Are there options for them that's very portable?
Well, they're starting to be. You're starting to have 360-degree on, of course, action cam, sports cam. You will see the first smartphones, tablets coming out with embedded 360-degree. Oh, thank you. So, for example, this is an action cam, very funky design, which capture 14-megapixel content. New generation is coming out of this type of device. You have this, like I said, this is a reference design done with Qualcomm for 360-degree front-facing camera, which allows to capture 360-degree on a portable device. You have the wearable that you saw there. Of course, that is the ruggedized version, but it's going to be much more lighter, smaller lens, more affordable. You have accessories that are going to come out that connects to smartphones to provide that using the phone as the transmitter of the content, but in live, not only post-processing. And you have drones that allows actually to capture full 360-degree environment and sharing that with your friends. And the next step that we're seeing certainly is the car being the camera on wheels. So a car right now has a lot of cameras. And the fact that you are today use the cameras for helping the driver to park a car or to go around very narrow areas, it's one thing. But now, as you have more and more companies, I've heard that like Audi just signed up with Qualcomm to provide the Snapdragon platform for infotainment. Well, why don't you use those cameras? And now instead of only capturing the ground, you start capturing around the vehicle. Now you're recording your trip from Las Vegas to San Diego. And all the way through, every frame will have the GPS location. So you're going to say, hey, I remember I saw a store that was so beautiful there and that city. I'm going to be able to go to that location, and then putting my headset on my head, I will be able to go around and look at like I'm in the center of the car. I'm there exactly where it's happening.
I guess another potential for this would be the insurance industry, right? They want to see what happened in the last 5 minutes.
There you are, and that's going to be one huge benefit. So that's where 360 comes in, opens up tons of new possibilities, and I think the limitation is the imagination of people of how they can do that. And of course, we've been doing this for 15 years. We've been in the 360 field for that long, always in technology. We have some ideas, but we heard some of the amazing ideas ever coming from somebody say, hey, I could do this. Yes, you could.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Neil. Very appreciate it.
This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2016. We will, of course, be back with more. Thank you for watching.